go.
Good to see you, Joey.
Good to see you.
All right. Thanks for coming on the interview.
Glad to be here. I'm glad you invited me.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Would you introduce yourself?
My name is Joey Rangel. Graduated from Texas Tech University, and my primary language there that I enjoyed working on was C, of all languages.
C?
C. It was nice to jump into a career right into using the C language. And then from there, I wanted to do web development and decided to go and test the waters in the job market at that time. And found a small startup called SoftLayer, and I was like, oh,
there you go.
Started as an application developer, worked my way up, became lead and manager, in charge of some applications, and then finally director. And then I decided to go and try and venture out a little on my own and build a business around fantasy sports. I went back to IBM as a software architect in development and become a data scientist. So I started doing some data science work, decided to kind of test the market out. So I left myself open to opportunities that might come my way. And currently I am employed by Oracle as a data scientist.
Nice.
And it's very exciting, challenging.
Yeah, I bet.
And tiring, but I enjoy the work that I'm doing now.
Tell me about what a data scientist is and what a data scientist does.
Yeah, a data scientist is mainly being a problem solver and being able to take as much data, enrich it, prepare it, clean it, and trying to get some insights out of it, whether it's through visualization. That's the main technique that is used to find commonalities in the data. Take a problem that the business tells us, and then we try to interpret the problem to see what the problem really is from a data science perspective. So there's a lot of communication involved with people within the data science group to try and understand what are we trying to solve. Once we figure out what we're trying to solve, then it's easier for us to select the appropriate models, be able to go and sift through the data, find correlations and things like that. So that's pretty much what I do and what a data scientist is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a really interesting job.
Yes, it's a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
A lot of late nights, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Nice. So I've known you for a long time, and you started out as a C developer to web developer to team lead, manager, and promoted to a director.
Yeah.
Then went on to found your own business.
Yes.
And then came back as an architect, as an individual contributor. And as if that wasn't enough, you taught yourself data scientist skills, now became a full-time data scientist. What do you think is the secret of the breadth of your career journey?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with curiosity.
I see.
Just being curious and never being content with where I am. I do enjoy a lot of the journey that I've been on, but at some point in that time, I asked myself, is this it?
I see.
It felt like I hit a plateau, and I thought, this could be good, right? But I didn't want to be content. I wanted to see what else was out there, and so that's kind of when the journey really started to get into data science, because I saw an evolution of where the IT space was solving the problem of being able to store large, massive amounts of data. That problem seemed to have been solved. Then the next problem was, what do we do with it?
I see.
So I thought, okay, there's going to be a huge opportunity there for skills that really haven't come to fruition yet. If I want to keep thriving in my career, I need to adapt as well. So, curiosity and wanting to adapt to the environment within the space that we work in, right?
I see.
is what drives me.
I see. If we could measure one's curiosity, you would be like through the chart.
That would be interesting if we could measure curiosity.
Yeah. Maybe you can find a formula to measure that as a data scientist.
I wouldn't even know how to take measurements on it, but it would be interesting to see and go down that route.
Yeah. So tell me more about how you transitioned from a software engineer to data scientist.
Really started diving into sports analytics because that's kind of where my passion was.
I see.
And it just kind of evolved into something on its own. You know, when I started looking at the analytics, I started researching how do I analyze numbers. Data frames was a big term that kept coming up on my Google searches. So I thought, okay, what is a data frame? So then it tied it back to the R language, Python language. So then I started doing some research and kind of work on trying to learn the R language. And it kind of just evolved more into, or deeper into those languages and deeper into the capabilities of using data frames and Python and R, which eventually evolved into data science.
So you started your own side project. In addition to your daily job, you started your side project, which is advanced sports analytics. And through that, you learned a lot of data scientist related skills. How did you apply that knowledge you learned through that pet project into your main work, so you can transition from software engineer to data scientist?
So one of the biggest things that we were doing was we had to switch technologies for a database abstraction. But in order for us to prove that we were heading in the right direction, we had to take measurements. So in that time, I started collecting statistics and on different connection times, query times, and things like that. So I was able to produce a lot of graphs to show leadership that these are the appropriate technologies and this is the way that we should implement this technology stack. I think there's always opportunities to learn a new skill and then figure out how you can apply it in your work. There's always opportunities, right? It's just finding where that sliver of opportunity is within a project. The fact that, you know, when an opportunity does come up, we should be prepared to take advantage of that opportunity, right? That's why I think it's so important for me to constantly be evolving, be learning. There's always something out there to learn. There's always something new, right? And I'm constantly reading.
If you have any techniques for learning new skills, can you kind of recap how you obtain new skills?
For me, it started with a passion. I loved playing fantasy sports, right? So I thought, how could I apply my technical skills to learn something new?
I see.
Sports is all driven behind analytics, right? So that kind of naturally moved me into the data science world.
When I learn something, I watch YouTube videos, tutorials, to make something working as soon as possible. But you're more, if I remember correctly, you're more like focused on fundamentals, basics. You read about the books and know the core concept really well, and then try to make things work. Is that true?
There is the fast track as far as like, you know, and I've done it before, you know, but then there's like, when you go line by line, I question, why was it done that way? Or what does this function actually do? Or this package actually do? So I want to understand like why I'm doing certain things, not just know or see an example of what to do. So I tend to read a lot of books nowadays.
That's really great.
Yeah.